Another episode so soon. You lucky viewer. This is an episode that deals with Victor and Namor just cannot get along. They switch allegiances. They need like a couples therapy session, between Victor Von Doom and Namor McKenzie. And now, this came out in the mid-70s. Was part of the 70s glut that was Marvel DC. And but there was some real gems. But I've said this before, when comics went from 25 cents to 30 cents, all the new titles got chopped off on the chopping block. Supervillain team up. I loved it because I love Doctor Doom. Now, very, very typical of Bronze Age. It's like everybody just jumped in. And but, Doctor Doom's just too cool a character to ignore. Well, I didn't see this when it came out, but I got it as a friend of mine traded me for it. Anyway, it's very promising first issue, Supervillain Team Up. Some books started off as a giant size, which was almost double size of a comic, and it would have a 30-page original story and then a reprint in the back. And then there was like giant size Fantastic Four and a whole bunch. And then right towards the end in late 75, they changed the handful of giant-sized to all reprint. We did get some gems out of it, though, like giant-size X-Men #1 and Invaders #1 to a smaller extent, but I love them equally. But it didn't. After that, I don't know why they didn't keep it, especially because it's a cheap-ass format. This is funny. Issue 1, okay? Beautiful, beautiful. John Buscema, Joe Sinnott art. Look at that. Purdy. It tells you what happened, which is very recently, like the month prior, literally. And Namor comes out of his, one of those many contraptions he floats around in, and he saves Doom. He goes, still there is power living within this living armored enigma. Whew, that was hard to say. Power which a Samaritan can use is I only have seconds to spare. So, and then if I could still remember how, it actually looks like he's getting like a big time shampoo over his head there. And Doctor Doom lives. We are sworn and deadly foes, though. Only if you wish so, Doom. Being fair, as you said in the past, we are natural allies. The point. So they talk about the FF back in issue 6, where they first teamed up, and there's not much to ponder. And as he's pondering, instant reprint. We're not even 10 pages in. We got a reprint. Nice, but if you grew up at the same time I did, there was a fuck ton of reprints everywhere. It was real beneficial because you could see the new books, you could find out the history and such, and the Marvel Universe was only 14, 15 years old, so there was just a lot. You could theoretically find out so much about the Marvel Universe. But, okay, great story. Okay, but it's Doctor Doom versus Submariner, and he's like, hey, you hoser, get out of here. So, but I shall be free, or let the city of man beware. I don't know what that means. So, one page by John Buscema and Dr. Doom. And he goes, And that was the time when I was forced into allegiance with the sorcerer named Diablo. And that, as I recall, was not one of my finest hours. So then, big fat reprint of Marvel Superheroes #20, which had Doctor Doom cover featured. Larry Lieber, and he does part of the writing and the pencils. Thomas does co-writing, and Frank Giacoia inks. No. He contributes to the art too. Vince Coletta inks the whole shebang. What's funny though is there is a ton of Kirby swipes in here, but the story's fun. It's not that's probably for when he took the Silver Surfer's power. I don't know, but you see a ton of Kirby swipes, and then It's just doomed. The end. Okay, he's like, I have your answer, Atlantean. If we were allies, blah, 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 I'll betray you, betray me. My answer is no. He's like, why, you son of a bitch? Bam. An abridged version of their fight. Okay, and they just... I'm Victor Von Doom. I'm born to rule. And he nails him away. Away, slight man. I've always wanted to say that in public. Like if somebody's like blocking the restroom at some place, I've always wanted to say, away, slight man. But no, never had the opportunity. And maybe I shouldn't because I'll probably get the shit beat out of me. So, Dr. Doom gets sent jettisoned. And 10 whole pages of John Buscema and Joe Sinnott goes... we shall fight again side by side, and they shall topple the world. Ooh, Titans together. That's very, very promising. Okay. And Roy Thomas does these text pieces from the Giant Size first issues. They're great fun. They were just really fun. And issue 2 came out. Now, this is I found first. Actually, the first one I didn't. I think I've got it years later. But this one, I think my friend Rick traded, and... what's amazing is Mike Sikowski, a legendary DC artist, does this story, and it's beautiful. And I'm not gonna make bones about it. I didn't like Sikowski stuff in the '60s on JSA because it was just kind of clunky, and all the JLA looked like like your dad wearing eating too many steaks every night. But still, this is just. Can you imagine having somebody draw this now without all the Google sketching and everything? The faces are a little goony, but Sam Granger does great stuff on the inks. Look at that. I would love... I don't know if that... See, they should make one like that, but with like pedals. Like a paddle boat. A paddle boat. So, okay. I think what does he want anyway? He's like, get away from Atlantis. And they're like, pow. You have 5 minutes to abandon... That is an incredible image. And he thought this old salty sea dog, he's like, oh man, he ain't screwing around. So he does the cripes, let me out of here. And back in the Invaders, when he was busting up U-boats, you would have somebody with their mouth agape and the water going halfway in their mouth, and he'd be like, Ach du Larry Lieber, or something like that. He's like, that's supposed to be unsinkable, like that Titanic, sir. He goes back to Atlantis. What's cool is, when I started reading Marvel Comics, Atlantis was in suspended animation for a couple of years, so that was kind of like, to me, that was the norm. I never thought they'd be revived, frankly. I thought it was just going to be his, cross to bear. All of a sudden, there's this rumbling, he charges up, Atlantis is invaded. Look at all that. That is amazing. I mean, you have to use a dead flat line on these because it makes this pop out. That's kind of crucial because there's some artists that like decide, I'm going to do every little thing in here, blah, 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 and you need that sense of depth. When you're looking out on the street, there's right up front there's mid-range, and then at a distance there's just shapes mostly. Unless you've got not just 20/20 vision, but you've got magnifying glasses for eyes. Beautiful, beautiful fight. The language is so different. It's so different from any other Marvel artist. So he's bashing these guys. And So, there's one left. He pulls the mask away. It's Dr. Doom. He's like, actually, it's a projection. I'm on the surface, of course. This attack was just a ruse to draw you out of hiding. Leave before 5 seconds. Boom! And it destroys more of the city. While the Submariner lives, this carnage shall not go unavenged. So, nice little skid there coming out of the water. He shows up and he's like, "Hey, here's a toast. Hey, I know I just blew some shit up, but Namor, he fucking destroyed parts of the city that can never be replaced." And he's just like calmly talking to him. And he goes, partner that you have reconsidered my proposal several weeks ago. Yeah, by destroying like underwater real estate. And they're just so calm. And he's like, well, I think we can work together. Blah, 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 blah. And he shouldn't be pondering it. It's just absurd. It's Silver Age. Throw everything out. It's just going to be wacky, stuff. I mean, it's fun, but it's just odd. And that's pretty neat there. I like that pose. The unthinking world calls us villains, name all rather melodramatically supervillains. But the true words for us is conquerors. And he goes, I think he's got a crush on Doom. He goes, you tempt me, you really do. So, he shows him all the gadgets. I love that bottom panel with Doom with the finger in the air. He goes, meeting of the minds, yada, they're flying over Latveria, and the happy peasants are like, oh, Doom is not beating us up, we love him. Okay, and he's showing his androids. Hey, check out these androids. And he forces one to kill the other, although they're supposed to be just androids, I mean, I don't mean the Vision, who's got like human, like a human soul of some sort. Again, look at that. Sikowski's just really... Ugh, I would hate to ink that. I'd hate to ink this whole page. Here comes... Oh, somebody blasts his monitor. Android. He was called the Doomsman, which was in the short-lived Wally Wood run of Astonishing Tales, and he was called... Doomsman, whatever. But he's Andrew. So, meanwhile... La 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 la. Back, yep, see, there it goes. The Wallace Wood. And somehow back, a year earlier or less than that, somehow he hitched a ride onto the teleporting lockjaw. I would never want a teleporting dog because I would just fret. I'd be like, where the hell? It's hard enough when you got small dogs like I got, and one of them's missing, and then you just find out they're like tucked away behind a box or something, goofing off. So, anyway, more action. I'm just stunned that this is Sikowski stuff. That is just incredible. And, I'm not putting him down. He does have his JLA stuff, as I said, it has a charm to it. It's just that this is more, I guess the anatomy is more superheroic, I guess. And he's about to fight him. He goes, stand aside, I'll take care of him. So we're evenly matched, even as you say. And he disappears, and then that again, man, oh man, I'd love to have any of these pages with Doom on them. I mean, just amazing stuff. And he goes, well, I got one of these, but I got these spare ones. I mean, I think building robots is probably the main source of industry in Latveria. They probably just have a whole bunch, like an assembly line. So, these will replace them in, what was it? Being less human, even the androids, they will be immune to the seduction of Andro. Impressive. And you walk away. Sparkle, sparkle. Oh, yeah. Well, then, okay, get ready for mass insanity. Get ready for something that's completely unexpected, okay? Only 2 issues of giant-sized supervillain team-up. Go right in the first issue. There's a big old swipe. I think that's a buckler. Yeah, that's a buckler, because that's a very, from Submariner 2 or something like that, or the Triton shuttle. But right away, I will hear no more of your fine words. Namor has much to consider before cementing our alliance. It's like, but we just had a moment. I thought we were going great. But he's like, I will not be put off like some commoner. Blah, blah. Tony Isabella, yeah, he's doing his best. I mean, he actually does write some good stuff for the Silver Age, but it's just like they gave him a hot potato. They probably didn't even show him the previous 2 issues. George Tuska and Bill Everett do the artist. Fred Kita, who's a great inker. He did one of the greatest Doctor Doom stories ever, which was What If number 22, that is, excuse me. What If 22 that came out around 1980. It had, What If Dr. Doom was a hero, and it was drawn by Fred Kita and inked by Dave Simons, and it's just exquisite. So now, you got the Tuska stuff going. They're just kind of, I've chose you as an ally too hastily. chose me. Why you presume much? Bah, 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 bah. Because the brilliance mind of Dr. Doom, which should be above mere human emotion, and yet is plagued by the most destruction demon of all, pride. See, you guys can't sell for an instant. Now, there's Tuska, and I've noticed with a lot of Tuska stuff, he's great at fights, he's great at some of the setups, but there's other stuff that he kind of fell short on, and they would kind of paste things in, and like that's Hulk 144, and that's issue of Avengers by Don Heck. That I don't know. It might be. He's like, Oh, that is from his last appearance in Fantastic Four, where he walks away disgustipated and crack. So I don't know where Bill Everett comes in on that. George Evans is the artist on this, and George Evans good. I mean, he's a great. Like Frank Robbins, like Frank Springer, like a lot of guys, they were not made to do superheroes. They were Milton Caniff fans. I mean, so unfortunately they had to kind of do the Marvel style, and I just never liked it because it just wasn't right. I mean, if they had a newspaper strip with something like this, I'd be for it, but it's just, I don't know, ill-fitting. There's Atuma and Tiger Shop and the coolest guy in the world, Dr. Dorcas. He's like, let's got him, guys. So, I'm going to get you with the Vulcan nerve pinchers because I got the big ears. There, tosses him. Like I said, it's just it doesn't read quite as strong. And again, like these smaller panels. Listen to me, bitch. Okay, the fourth ever issue of Supervillain Team Up, counting the two giant size. We've got a fourth artist, another new artist, Isabella. You know, he's thankfully he's doing the next issue because he is the writer. Now, the only thing is, I am a huge Sal Buscema fan, but I really think a different inker would have goosed up some of this stuff because it's kind of bland. It needs more shadows. It needs more just. I can't quite describe it. And then all of a sudden, is that George Evans? No. The weight doesn't need to have. No. Okay, we're still in Sal mode, and it's just I guess it looked better in the newsprint, but here it just looks very, very flat. And Sal tells a story that's perfect. I mean, he is an amazing guy. He could do a fill-in issue on any fucking comic, and he draws it like he drew it his whole life. I mean, he's been given a lot of like stuff out of left field, like when he did the first Marvel Team Up Annual, which had the all new X-Men that hardly anybody drew before. He just did it, and without a complaint. So anyway, Jim Shooter, the writer, okay, and now it's George Evans, inked by Jack Abel. I kind of like Jack Abel, kind of grounding some of the George Evans, I don't know, his scratchiness. And again, it's nothing wrong. And there's another buckler cover. Okay, like that's kind of weird. It looks like he's just kind of standing on his tummy there, and it's just awkward. Then Doom shows up, and he zaps everybody, and he's like, it's all bonk. He gives him, and he's like, you dick, I'm on your side. And he's just basically doing it to save him somehow. It's just ridiculous. And then he ends up in the water. Nice top, honey. Okay, I guess this woman's sewing something. Dr. Doom has his machines. That's Tamara, I think, and they had the temerity to hold her up. Thankfully, she gets saved. Well, zaps the bad guys. No, this is not vengeance. He decides to fight, and love that. Anyway, he gets piled on. I gotta get back to this guy. There's this goofy court jester guy. He's goofing on Doom, because he was helpless. Doom was apparently helpless. Well, he had these two, I don't know what they are, constructs of some sort, and he blew them up. My armor withstood the blast. So, crash. Now, laugh, Cyrus. I want to see you make a laugh, Jester. He goes, show him what Dr. Doom did. He was harmless. That was murder. Your judgments interest me not. And here we go. All right. Now Bill Mantlo. Yep. And Herb Trimpe and Jim Mooney. Just the latest in a line of creators. But they stick around for a while. Whew, love that cover. Man, oh man. I mean, that just leaps out at you. Now, I think Herb kind of had a hurry with this because everything's a 4-panel grid and everything's up close and it's not really asking for a lot of background, you know, but the story still reads excellently. But anyway, he's working on, I don't know who that guy is. Like that splash page, it's not sensational, but it's still solid. And oop. Well, arrogant bragger. Well, Doom gets away. Oh, there he goes. Okay, watch me do my triple gainer. Here we go. And he leaves. Doom needs no one. Oh, now you decide you don't want anybody. Oh, yeah, thanks, Doom, you dickhead. And he's like, argh. Well, anyway, after this, the creature that guy was creating, some kind of synthezoid, it showed up in Marvel Spotlight, where there was a solo story of Submariner because his book had been canceled a while. Oh, Buckler and Sinnott on the cover there. And we're back. Now we get Steve Englehart and Herb Trimpe. So, you know what? It's kind of funny because DC had the DC Challenge, which was an 84, 85. It was a basically one creative team did one issue. The second issue was done by a completely different creative team, and they all had to leave cliffhangers for the others to figure out. Some of it worked, some of it really didn't, but it's almost like that's how this is coming along. And it was never intended to, like, you know, jerk around the next team. And there's the Shroud. It was he was basically, Englehart did a Batman version, except this guy was blind, so he had a little Daredevil thing going. Well, he had, I gotta get back to this. I'm totally missing the story here. Okay, now, he plans to destroy more of the of Atlantis. He hits him with some kind of thing that makes him weak as a kitten on a permanent or semi-permanent, and he goes, okay, choose Atlantean. You will swear unequivocal, unquestionable alliance to be allegiance to me and to save your land and your life. Shall I continue? Damn you, Doom. Well, gives him a temporary antidote, and he has to swear fealty. Is that the right term? So he, 24 hours, he's really trying hard to help Submariner get the cure. And he says, a matter of time. I have no time. And Namor has that princely nobility that he's like, he has to stick to his word. Hey, he gets taken away. Well, I'm gonna a Jim Starlin cover. Yep, that's a redrawn Ramita head. I don't know who inked it. I think it was Alan Weiss. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, Trimpe and Abel, who I've always liked on the Hulk. Blah blah blah. Well, from now on, they're pretty much enemies. And however, there's Henry Kissinger telling the FF to get the hell out of Latveria because it's a sovereign nation, and he's the leader. He's the leader. Here we go, 25 cents. And when you had that, or the little still only, you knew 30 cents was around the corner. Well, anyway, supposedly I'm doing this again. Supposedly he said he was going to go kill Dr. Doom. He goes, oh, I see, you're insane. So this battle, it's just kind of odd. Wow, that is a great panel. That is a really great panel. Trimpe could do some really great Dr. Doom stuff. He wasn't given enough chance to do that. And he goes, well, I killed him. What, are you serious? Pfft, even I knew that was bullshit. And he gets saved by Atlanteans. So he's like, hey, you're free of your obligation. Nice cover. Inked by Severin. There we go. Keith Giffen. Owen McCarran. Now, Owen McCarran, I don't know how many comics he did, but he did the Marvel Fun and Games book, which lasted about 12 issues. It has just recently been reprinted in a trade paperback form, believe it or not. But Keith Giffen was so fun. And the colors are really nice. Phil Rash, however you say his name. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Well, so what happens is Doom's there, and he's like, You lied to me. I would never have gone along with this. He goes, I must fulfill my hated duty. And the Shroud in Disguise knocks his name right only because he hasn't been in water in a while. There we go. On to George Perez stuff. Worst phrase ever. Mister, you could take your sea chauvinism and shove it right up your sargasso. I'm like, ugh. When I was a kid, I didn't really understand it. Now that I understand it, I hate it. So, there you go. Supervillain team up. Story not only... Jim Shooter actually draws it, and Sal Trapani inks it. Bill Mantlow's a writer. And it goes on and on and on. Well, Doom has the vial that helps him, but it's secretly Rudolfo, rightful crown prince of Latveria. So they plan, and apparently Doom is, I believe, alive. Well, anyway, it goes on and on and on and on. Then they team up for the Red Skull, and then the only reason he wants Doom around still is because he's going to fulfill that. Oh, very funny line here. He goes out of the blue. It's like, what was it? Restore me to normal size. It's a long story. They got reduced. And I shall stop him and swear I will cure your comatose Atlantean subjects. And he's like, ooh. So, Namor's he's kind of a sap. But, believe it or not, Dr. Doom, Keith Giffen. That was Bob Hall, by the way. Really, really nice stuff. Giffen, Don Perlin, excellent inker and great storyteller in his own right. Very, very Kirby. Bringing on the Kirby. And, okay, spoilers, everybody. The subjects are back. They're alive. The old geezer he keeps listening to. Comes out. Beautiful. I mean, totally Kirby monster stuff. Atlantis lives. And, he does the... This pose of the hand was so popular with Giffen that I used to draw it a lot. It's great shorthand. Funny pun. No. Well, that's it. And then it goes on to Dr. Doom and Red Skull. But what I'm saying is, it's like a whole team of writers and artists. They're trying to figure out what's going on, but it's so inconsistent. It's like Doom. He wants Doom. Doom wants him. And he's like, I got to destroy part of Atlantis to get your attention. He's like, oh, okay. It's just nuts. And I'm going to be covering some other books from this era that are completely nuts too, where, it's musical chairs. This is like a musical subway. Anyway, I hope you liked it. And, my fellow geeks and comic book enthusiasts, that's it. What is that? This ran long. Okay, talk to you later. Hope you like it. Oh, whoa. Please hit like and please leave comments below because I do not edit any comments. I will respond to each and every comment. And if you have an opinion otherwise, that's fine. I want to engage because that friggin' algorithm that just, I don't want to be in the sargasso of the internet. That's it. Bye.